Welcome to the Selling in the Motor Trade podcast, in association with Symco Training. This is the weekly podcast where we share best practice tips and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve your service department, and generally put more profit into your dealership or dealer group. I'm your host, Simon Bowkett. Now, some of you probably already know me as Skippy. I will start by saying thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. How does someone like us get into running our own sales training company? And I love speaking to David Martins of the world and great speakers I've had the privilege of interviewing. Okay, what is it? You go from selling cars, making good money. You must have been making great money where you are. What was your motivation to get into the training world?
The biggest motivation I would say is probably my transition on becoming a mom.
Okay.
I look at it now, especially through the last few changes. It's usually very difficult, and I'm a mom of two now, right? And it's very difficult in general, car business or not, but especially in the car business retail, to not, if and it's inner competition me, but like you want to be at the store all day, every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're at the store sun up to sundown.
Mm-hmm.
All day, every day, maybe except for like every other Sunday or Sundays if the store is closed, right? So, becoming a mom and also at the same time, like I found out I was pregnant with my now 6-year-old, my youngest daughter, a week after I quit, like, basically started on my own. So it was like, oh, you start your own company and now you're going to be a mom.
Oh, wow. You did everything at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm very, I guess, like thankful. Like part of it was, I remember the mindset for me too, being like, all right, well, what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if it gets really hard? What if, oh gosh, golly, what if in the year 2021, there's an inventory shortage? Like,
pandemics before that. Yeah.
Right. And me having and saying, what's going to be your plan B, Elise? If like, you just gotta, like, you have to shut down. What are you going to do? And it had to be this mindset of like, no, there's no option B. Like there's no option B. And so I made that decision, and then like, bam, like got hit like a week later with, oh, I'm pregnant with my second daughter. So, but the biggest motivation, that was a large part of it, was I wanted, I'm a big believer of freedom. And as a mom or as a parent, I've really especially over the last few years looked at, my kids are only kids once, like, and beyond, I think, this is like beyond anything, like any like high that we can get from like closing a deal or selling, or being in front of 100 dealers and making a live phone call and all those things. Like, I guess I look at it like for my daughters, like I'm their mom, and they're one day gonna be like grown-ups, right? And it's this other big competitive mom's like part of me where I just want to make that, these years like the best for them. Yeah, especially. So,
and it goes quick. I've got a 19-year-old now, and he's just got off to do his commercial pilot's license for 12 months in a different country. And it's like going off to university. He's 19, but he's still my baby, right? And it's like, it's great. That's what we do it for. We do it for our kids, don't we?
Yeah, it's, it's that. And I just remember, cause when I left retail, I didn't start on my own right away. I worked for a automotive phone training company.
Okay.
For a year before I branched out on my own, and the reasoning for that is all the safe reasons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be like it's a safe way to go. But I think that's why anybody I respect so greatly, like studying entrepreneurs and business owners, and I feel like there's this thing, like, if you know, right? Where it's not always a cakewalk, right? but the good thing for the car, I think transitioning from the car business, the car business in general is not a cakewalk, and you get thick skin real quick. So
That's
so
true.
that sort of like builds you up into
I
it.
don't know about you though. We get all the time our trainers, and I had it last week. Someone said, oh, "I love your job." How nice is that? You swan into the dealership at 9. You swan out at 5:30. Okay, you don't have a monthly target to worry about. What a great job! Not realizing I'm then trying to catch a plane, then to go to somewhere else, get to a hotel at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose the grass is always greener. Now, don't take the wrong way. I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's not a cakewalk. It's
no.
You've got to love this job to want to do it.
Yeah.
Travis, so what's a typical, tell me about your company then, and what's a typical working week look like for you? Are you on the road all the time as well? Do you do lots of stuff remotely? Are you digital training then?
So I do about 50-50. So I have my daughters every other week. And so when I don't have them, I've been, that's when I do my travels. So more recently I came back from Texas. I have a dealer group in California and Washington or Seattle that I've been going to, that I've been doing on site with consistently. So, but the weeks that I have that I am not traveling or have my girls, I do what's called aftercare, which are Zoom sessions, really diving into leads, as well as with some dealers. I've been sort of tapping into figuring out if a menu item or something that I could offer would be to scale my own remote BDC team. So I guess the sense of, well, I can train your people to do it, but if the struggle bus is there and it's not improving, then per the meat, let me just do it for you, right? Yeah. But I wouldn't be able to do that solo handed. But so much of my system now is so hugely scalable, even pretty very much automated depending on the CRM. So really the skill set like becomes on people knowing how to close on the phone, close an appointment on the phone, because a lot of my system now is like automated to get you that phone call, right? To bring a text to a live phone call, or to bring an email to getting the real phone number and texting. Like, so it still takes the labor, I guess, or the skill set of somebody taking a phone call, not botching it, right? Yeah. But so I've been doing that as well, like, but selfishly, whether I'm training on it and we're doing a Zoom session or an aftercare session, and I'm playing this role of Elise Timberlake, right, where I'm making the call still, like, every day. It's selfishly, like, it keeps me understanding what's going on. It keeps me like for a real internet sales rep or BDC rep, especially for the store where I've worked their leads like consistently for 3-4 weeks, right? That's a real eye opener on like what is out there and really happening, especially in this time that we're at right now, where like inventory is coming back.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I was just at a store and like, I mean, it wasn't like 2019 again, but it kind of was. Like, it was the first time where I was like, oh, there's like, the days of, oh, microchip shortage and like 2 cars on the lot. Like,
I just think so many salespeople have been used to this low-hanging fruit because, let's be honest, you didn't have to be a great salesperson over the last 2 years. I mean, the whole sales process was, do you want it? If not, I've got 3 other people want it. Next. Right. And people could get away with that.
The alpha dominant like industry that was like such a, I mean, I would see it in groups all the time, just very cocky. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
People call themselves closers, and it's like, bro, you ain't got to do anything like right now. You're just.
That's not closing. That's just like, do you want it or not? But actually,
very transactional.
So easy when we haven't got semiconductors and wiring looms. But you know what? That tap's getting turned off. And I do believe these manufacturers will do what they've always done. They'll start oversupplying. They'll start jamming it into us. We're already seeing people now and more. Come on, what's your best price? Okay, where can you be? All the stuff that was back 2019, it's happening now. And what's your advice for the dealer who's got a whole sales team who is this too harsh to say forgot how to sell? Or actually, Elise, never knew how to sell? What if someone started in 1920? They never learned how to sell. What's your advice to the dealer that's got a whole team of those guys?
I've very much so looked at a dealership. If you look at your dealership like you are a professional sports team, right? If you're a professional sports team, then, you know, and you want to get your championship ring, like there's so many components of what it's going to take to get there. But a large part of it is, you know, internally, I feel like fixing whatever necessary communication, or for everybody to be on that same, like it's almost like a team high, as I call it, where like you realize everybody is on the same page, right? There's no Tony Hawks, as I call it, on where you have people trying to like just look out for themselves or skate for a half deal, right? You work out those cultural problems, I guess, and have your team that wants to win, right? Together. And once you have your people down, right? Once you have your people down, then it is like, then it's the process. It's showing up to the practices, right? It's doing all the work that it takes to get you to that championship ring. And so much of that is, you know, I think through the last few years, maybe some people said, oh, we don't need training because we got it. Right.
Yep.
And now it's going to come down to skill set, right?
Yeah.
And skill set isn't something that I've looked at that just happens like, all right, I take a course on it and you are like it's constant. It's why I'm still like working leads every single day as Elise Timberlake, because and even when I listen to calls like from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years, like it makes me realize that it's because I take calls every single day that helps me get better.
Yeah.
Right? It helps me get it down to where I can, you know, I always want to be doing those blind calls because that just proves that
keeps you sharp.
Yeah. That you're, you know, if they're going to give you, I think the quote is, if they give you 5 hours to chop a tree, you sharpen your blade for 4 or something.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That just leaves me to say that all details of this episode and other episodes on the selling in the motor trade can be found on our website, symcotraining.co.uk. Go there to get a copy of our book, Words That Sell Cars. Go there to sign up to a free trial of our Sales Fitness online sales training program. Easiest way to get hold of me is Simon Bowkett through LinkedIn. Thank you.